Hi there and welcome to Making Vision Boards. So this is the third video where I'm actually gonna just do the vision boarding. So I highly recommend, if you have not watched the first and the second one, at least watch them through one time so you have the background, because it will make it more powerful and it just make your experience more beautiful. It will make it more powerful, and what we're trying to accomplish here will just bring you more fruition. It will help things come to fruition more easily. So I'm going to talk about 3 basic types of vision boarding. I know that might seem like a lot and that maybe you didn't know that there are different kinds. There's all different kinds of things that for everything. It just depends on what you're wanting to do and how far you're wanting to go with this. So that's why I have three kinds. And so I just want to talk about the basics of vision boarding. So we went through in the second video where I had a stack of magazines, that you can get. And then we're gonna, we tore through the different pages, and then we spent some time in cutting them out. So this is what I have now. Is I have, some cutouts of some images that I was connecting with, and then you can just go, to the local art store, or usually at a drugstore, pharmacy, you can find some poster board like this, and then you just need a pair of scissors and a glue stick, and you're ready to begin. So the different kinds of vision boards that I want to go around and just show you that I have here today are ones that you can make with children. So that's a really fun thing to do. So if you're gonna do this with children, or if you want to throw a party, with friends in the holidays, it's really fun to do. I would recommend cutting the board in half, so making it smaller, because oftentimes people, if you want it to be a social activity, people are talking and sharing and socializing, and having a smaller space it feels like it's like, having boundaries help us feel more secure. So it's the same thing. Having a smaller space to work with helps us relax and be able to have more fun. So if you're going to be doing it with a large social group or with children, I would recommend cutting the paper in half. So here's an example that I did with my 2 boys last year. For New Year's, we did these 2, and so this is my, at the time he was 13 and 17, almost 18-year-old. And so these are their vision boards that they did. And so what I did was I just took this poster board and then I actually cut it into fourths. So that was enough space for them, just to get us all together and do a fun activity. And, they ended up being really beautiful. I mean, you can just see how unique these 2 different ones are, and their personalities coming out and how old they are. And they're just really beautiful displays of their own soul self, their own self-expression, which is a lot of fun. So this is, something that we did very casually with children. Another example, so that's the first example. Another example is one that I did myself, and that was one I did with them last year. And so it's just very simple. I haven't spent a lot of time on it. It happened last year, and then I actually put it away. And it's interesting because a lot of these things haven't come to fruition. So I didn't spend a lot of time with it. It was more about have fun with my kids, and that's okay too. So I did cut the images, and I glued them on, and then I rolled it up and I put it away. And that's another way of doing it, and that's okay too. And so the third type is going to be more an example of an in-depth one, and this is one that I did several years ago. I would say like maybe 5-6 years ago. And what happened is that I started with a small surface, and then I realized that I really wanted to continue, and then I was like, well, what are you gonna do? And then I got this idea that, as my life is dynamic, I'm not static, I'm dynamic, I'm moving, so too my vision board could be dynamic, and that I would actually use both sides and I would hang it. So this is the one that I made about 5-6 years ago. So you can see it has a fishing line that I attached at the top, and it actually spins around so that I can put a lot of different images on it, and I wanted it to feel really alive. You know, I wanted it to, I didn't want to have my vision board kind of stuck on the wall where I would never see it. So this is another thing that's important. You want to have it, you know, sitting out so that you can see it, or you can have it hanging so that it moves. It's more like a wind chime, so it's catching your eyes. So the part that I want to talk about with this one is that it's turned into a layering piece. So this is the third type of vision board, and that's one that you keep every year. And every year when you're doing your New Year's resolution, your resolution, and your rituals, and connecting with your soul self in a dynamic way, you can actually add images on and do this beautiful layering of your life. So that's what I did in this one, and what happened is that I added more of the images on, and then the images that were already there, so some of the things that have come to fruition, I didn't want to like hide them so that I couldn't see, you know, where I'd come from and where I am now. So I just left little like peek holes, which is really fun. So if you look at this one here, this was about honoring a lot of my women friendships. So there was an image here of two women embracing, and that's something that I wanted to work on, and that's something that has come to fruition in the last 5-6 years. I've spent a lot of time and energy nurturing those, and I feel like that's really good now. So now I'm working more on my inner child, and I got this image. So I put this on, you know, and then I didn't want to have that go away, and this is what I mean about when we're in this kind of relaxed yin feminine state where we're open to receive whatever's happening. I went to line up this image, and as I'm lining it up, you can see this little eye of the woman is poking through. So, you know, it's still there, and I will remember what's underneath, and yet it's allowing for a new movement, new things coming into my life, and new things that I'm working on. And the old is still there. So I have this strong foundation that I've created, and there's this beautiful layering piece that's happening. So the same thing up here. And so this is really fun. I've cut out some words, you know, because I loved this image, but then the words weren't quite fitting, so then I added some words and images here, and some other parts I have, just adding on the images. So it's a lot of fun, you know, and just putting on some music, you know, and just letting the images find themselves. So again, like I said, it's going to have a life of its own. So just kind of feeling where they want to go. And then if some of them want to kind of hang off the edge, that's okay too. It should be really a dynamic, beautiful process where you're letting it have a life of its own. And, you know, just I'm hoping that you will have a lot of fun with this. And it's a really wonderful tool to use to open up into our subconscious and get in contact with our soul self and moving forward in our lives with our rituals and our resolutions and these images. And so making sure that when you feel complete, when you have all your, you know, images on, and then the ones that you don't want to use you can put in a file and save for later, is that you do put it someplace where you're going to have contact with it throughout the day. So, you know, we have ours, I'm going to take a picture of it. A bigger one that I did with my partner is above the mantle in our house, so we can see it every day. So what we don't want to happen is all this energy and all this beauty and time, and then you're going to take your vision board, you know, because you don't want people to see it, and that's okay, but put it someplace like in a bathroom or in your bedroom if you're feeling protective of it. And then later on, you know, you might be feeling a little bit more brave, and you can bring it out into more community spaces in your home. So that's all on the vision boarding, and I'm wishing you all the best and have fun. And of course, as always, if you have any questions, you can go to my website. It's www.rachelpetkus.com, and there's a comment section there. I love to be connected with people, and much love to you all, and happy visioning.